I'm Claire Richardson. Welcome. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and the main opposition Conservatives have agreed on a date for early elections, February 23rd. The snap election was prompted by the collapse of the coalition government last week when Scholz fired his finance minister. Now, Scholz has bowed to political pressure and agreed to hold the election a month earlier than he had originally suggested.
It will be a rare winter election in Germany instead of the usual September poll. Olaf Scholz's Social Democrats and the opposition CDU-CSU have both accepted an early date, somewhere between what the two sides were hoping for. We've agreed to propose to the German president that the election of the 21st German Bundestag should take place on the 23rd of February 2025. Chancellor Scholz announced last week he would call a confidence vote and trigger snap elections. That was after his government collapsed when he dismissed Finance Minister Christian Lindner, head of the Free Democrats, one of the three parties in his coalition. Scholz hopes to be nominated as his party's candidate for Chancellor and return to lead another government. I believe this will help us to finally come to a clear focus, namely who is the better Chancellor for Germany. And you know that I am firmly convinced that Olaf Scholz has served this country well under the most difficult conditions over the last 3 years. A continuation of Scholz as Chancellor looks unlikely, though. According to the polls, Friedrich Merz could be on his way to the top job. His centre-right group is set to come out of an election as the largest party. But it would need coalition partners, and the makeup of any future government is unclear. Meanwhile, concerns have been raised that rushing to the polls could cause problems for the smooth running of an election. Until just a week ago, the parties were still planning for regular elections 10 months from now. Now they will have to scramble to pick candidates, and authorities will have to meet legal deadlines much sooner, with work to do over the Christmas and New Year holiday season. But Germany's chief electoral officer says she thinks February the 23rd is doable. A confidence vote in Parliament is now expected on December the 16th. New elections would follow 10 weeks after that. How long it might then take to form a new government is, at the moment, anyone's guess.
Let's hear more from DW's political correspondent Simon Young in Berlin. He's got the latest on this story. Simon, the German president has now backed this election timeline. What do the next 3+ months ahead look like for Germany?
Yeah, Claire, I think they look pretty hectic. First of all, Chancellor Olaf Scholz is going to have to make good on what he's indicated, namely that he'll follow this agreement between the parties. That means that on the 11th of December, he will request a parliamentary vote of no confidence. That vote will be held in the Bundestag on the 16th of December. And if, as expected, he loses that vote of no confidence because he doesn't have a majority in Parliament anymore, then the way will be clear for Federal President Frank-Walter Steinmeier to declare new elections on the 23rd of February. And that means that during the period of Christmas and New Year, the parties will have to work hard, get their candidate lists set. The sort of campaign machines will have to fire up, and the candidates will be going door to door during January and February, which can be pretty chilly months here in Germany, of course. And on top of all that, the official arrangements for this election will have to be put in place with ballot boxes and polling stations and postal votes, and the authorities have got to work out who's even eligible to vote. So it's a lot to do. Should be doable for a country like Germany, but with an electorate of more than 60 million, it's a challenge.
Right, a short window for campaigning, lots to get done and lots to pay attention to. Simon, what about the fact that Donald Trump will be taking office in the United States even before Germany is able to hold these elections? Does that put Berlin in a precarious position?
Yeah, well, it could be 5 long weeks between the presidential inauguration in Washington and that German election the end of February, particularly if Donald Trump continues to make the sort of combative noises he's been making again lately with regard to Germany, saying Germany's eaten our lunch, they haven't paid the money that they owe. And of course, Trump has also threatened to impose trade tariffs on foreign countries. It'll be difficult. If he's making those demands, who will answer them? Olaf Scholz's hands will be tied during the election campaign. And in any case, of course, Germany's economy is faltering. So if it's demands for more money that are coming from the United States, then that's going to be tough for Berlin to answer, and will put Berlin and whoever's in power, frankly, and a new government under a certain amount of pressure as they come in.
A tricky situation ahead indeed. Thank you so much for that analysis. That's our political correspondent, Simon Young in Berlin.